Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Really do appreciate you taking the time to spend another evening with me. It's a fantastic opportunity for us to sort of share what we're doing, share what we're about. It's not really about me. It's really about you and that ability to be able to kind of bring these things together and share this sort of common goal, this kind of idea of community and what we are here trying to do. So yeah, thank you so much indeed. If you are watching live, please do let me know where you're coming from, what organization or where you're watching from. It'd be great to sort of get some of that interaction as well to find out what your where this community is coming from around the world, which is obviously going to be a really important thing as we grow this channel. So, as always, to make sure that you've got everything you need and to keep up to date, please don't forget to subscribe and also hit that notification bell. So that way, when we are live, gives you those immediate notifications and things coming through to make sure that you have everything that you need and you don't miss a beat, which is going to be really important if we're going to be here, certainly for the next few weeks into 2024 and hopefully well beyond. So, as we know, this is really a spin off, something to support the Education on Fire podcast. So, if you haven't subscribed or you don't follow, these are the places that will be a great place for you to listen, whether it's on Apple, whether it's Spotify. Um, Amazon Music, you can always do it through Alexa. Just ask them to play the Education on Fire podcast, and then away it will go and give you what you need and a chance to listen to it. What if you're doing wherever you have your Alexa, whether it's in the kitchen or somewhere around the house. So, what is it that we're sort of doing? What are we sharing? So, as I mentioned last week, we're going to have the opportunity for me just to share what episode was released this week, which is something which gives me the option just to maybe say one or two things about it that I would have said on the podcast. I wanted to also to be able to share a little bit about a past podcast, especially one that is doing great work and one that's actually going to maybe give you a great resource or some extra value as well. So that's a really good thing to make sure that we get that across each week. To kind of, we got 363, I think, was the number of episodes went live this week. So there's plenty of back catalogue to be able to make sure you're aware of, especially if you've come into Education on Fire in the last sort of few weeks or months. A chance for you to be able to share your work and what you're doing as well. So yes, please do, as I said, let me know where you're from, but also let me know what you're working on, anything you'd like to share, an example of something, a win that you've had this week, or anything like that. Just put it in the comments for me, and then I'll be able to sort of share that with everyone else as well. So yeah, please do that. That'd be a great thing for us to be able to do. Maybe the opportunity to share some of the things that have happened in the news this week. I can think of one or two things that we'll maybe chat about as the evening goes on, probably related to technology. But yes, we'll see about that as we do. And then also the ability to interview some guests. And I'm really delighted that we've actually had, I think we've got 3 or 4 people already booked in over the next few weeks for guests as well. And that's going to include Alex from BBC Teach. You may remember we were going to do a live stream of that before, but we had to just reschedule it because of calendars and things. So he's going to be coming back in the next few weeks as well. Ed Kerwin, who's the person who's created and does amazing work with Empathy Week. He's going to be coming on in November, I think it is, to chat all about what he's doing and the work that he's doing, which is going to be really incredible. We have Neil Morgan, who's going to be coming and talking about his work in his new book as well. And I think there are 3 or 4 others who are just sort of waiting to see how it was going to work and getting some back. We've definitely got the organisation Superkind coming on as well. We'll be sharing what it is that they're doing, how they can support you, and just have a slightly different conversation than we would have on the normal podcast. So that's kind of the idea and the format of how we're going to sort of make sure you get a great value each week as we go through. So as I mentioned, if you've just joined us, please do say hello in the comments, hit that like button. Let us know where you're watching from. If there's anything you want to share, please do. I'm more than happy to follow your lead from that point of view in terms of making sure we cover the things that you're interested in, as well as obviously just what we're doing here on Education on Fire. So the episode that went live this week was with Nick Ponsford from the Global Equality Collective. Now, one of the things which I found most supportive and most exciting about this conversation was not only chatting to someone with 20 years experience in terms of what it is that's important as a leader and really supporting teachers, but the fact that they've actually managed to create this collective of so many different people, so many people involved from what's going on. You can see there are so many change makers, so many people there, 300 plus sort of subject matter experts that are sort of supporting people. Over sort of 13, 14, 15,000 people involved and coming together, and the fact that they've released their new platform, which is really helping people going through, giving them an app, giving them something which schools can use to really build and give them a sense of what they need within their school to address all of these different things. So, as with always, if you go to the show notes on the Education on Fire podcast, you can actually read all about everything which has gone on in there, and also you can hit the website button there, and you can see exactly how it's going to work, what fits through, and as you said, there you can discover exactly how they're improving diversity, equity, and inclusion in schools. You can get all the information you need by going there. I really suggest that you do find out exactly how that all is, and as you can see, Nick there has been, she's multi-award winning, and not only that, it's really her passion that came through in the conversation, which I loved from her own experience, her ability to go from the classroom, have a change of life, which meant that she was going to therefore have the opportunity to work from home as well, look after her children, and actually be able to create this, bring everyone together, and realizing that actually what we need is someone who can take the mantle really and create something that wasn't there, which was something which was actually needed. So an amazing thing, and I really do hope you do go and get a chance to not only just to listen to the show, but do sort of check out exactly what it was that she was saying on the podcast, but what they're able to offer as well. So yeah, that was episode 363. So another thing I wanted to share with you today was this conversation that I had. Actually, we recorded this podcast this week with Kevin Whelan, and as you can see, I just took this snapshot earlier, but they have this new opportunity here in terms of building wealth and legacy for children. But it's just that kind of understanding that maybe the sorts of financial education that we get in school isn't what we need, if you get any at all. And he's sort of using his expertise, and he's created this membership really, which is a way to help, as it says there, parents, grandparents, and relatives sort of raise responsibly financial children, teenagers, young adults, and also lead by example, but have sort of that real understanding of not just sort of being told the best way of doing it, but creating a community so they can share all of those things as they go through. And it sort of launches in the next week or so. So do check that out. The podcast will be out later in the year, but just wanted to make sure that you knew about this and the opportunity to get in, because I think they do have this founders member discount, which is happening. So you can see there, wealthbuilders.co.uk/families will take you there and give you all that information that we need. Now, some of the people who were really keen to take part have also asked me how the format works, and you can see we've been chatting away and gone through some of those things. But if you'd like to come on and be interviewed, we can have just me and you as a guest, and my little furry friend there just helping out in terms of, so you sort of see how that looks on screen. But we can have actually more people than that. We can have 2, 3, 4. We could even have a whole discussion of people, should we wish to, up to 10 actually. So if that's something you'd like to do, that's kind of the way it works. You come into essentially, which is a green room, and then I can take you through how that works. We chat for about 15 or 20 minutes before, just to make sure we're all happy, got everything set up so it looks like that, and then you're able to see this show as it goes on. So you'd see me of talking all the way through, you would have seen all the different scenes happening as they go through, and then you'd be able to see yourself live on screen here and take that through and make and then we could have a conversation and an interview from there. So yeah, so I really hope you that kind of makes a bit more sense, so you can sort of see how that looks and how that would actually kind of be supportive and helpful in that way. One of the things we can do, because it's not just an audio podcast, and of course we have this opportunity to see and hear these things as well, we can share all manner of things. You've already seen me there sharing some pictures and sharing my website. We also have the opportunity to share some video.
Hi, welcome to the NAPE YouTube site. Today I'm going to look at the new reading framework of July 2023. Yes,
So you can see, not only do we have this opportunity to be able to kind of have an interview, but we can share any of these things. So if you have clips that you wanted to share, if you had a PDF, if you wanted to even do some kind of presentation, if you thought that was going to be really, really helpful and really, really interesting, then we can do that as well. You just need to let and give you the opportunity to be able to do that. There's this great thing about having this show is that there's no right or wrong way of doing it. There's no specific format that we have to stick to, as long as we get to share some of the information that we need, and also make sure that, like I said, it's your show as well. Whatever you'd like to share, whatever it is that you would like to do. And yet again, please do in the comments let me know where you're from, what you're doing, and where you're watching from. It would be great to find out exactly how we're all coming together. So, as we mentioned, we also wanted to share some of our previous podcasts. So this one was only back at 338. But EQ with the emotional well-being app was really, really something which I found super helpful, because not only is it kind of something which obviously children need, and mental well-being, especially for children, is something very close to my heart, but the fact that it's actually clinically proven. There are many, many things out there which claim to do these things, but you can see there it's actually clinically proven, and it's something which is a passion project and something which then turns into a real life business. How can we make this happen? How can we help people? And the main part of this story was the fact that actually sort of being in the service, as it were, in the health service, and actually sort of helping children, could only do it one on one, and then wanting to create something which could help many, many people in the best possible way. And the app was the way that they decided to go forward and make that happen. It's an amazing team. It's an amazing group of people. And you can see there's a real passion in there, especially if you listen to this amazing conversation. And again, you can always click straight through from any of these show notes. Amazing, all that number of people that are being helped and supported, and in a way which is really kind of very modern, very appropriate for the way that children especially, and all of us, are sort of on our phones all the time, to have what you need, and in a way that's going to be able to be supportive. It's going to do that. And you can see there you can book a demo, but also there's all that research which you can look through as well to make sure that you're really convinced that you're getting the best possible way forward. So do let me know if there's anything else you'd like to speak about, anything that you'd like to cover. As I mentioned, there are a couple of things in the news which obviously came through. The first one being, should phones are going to be banned from school. I don't know what you think about that. Do let me know. My personal feeling is that these things need to be a little bit more nuanced. Having a complete ban, does that mean that you're not able to use this technology in class? Does it mean that you can't therefore have your phone so that you can text home, that you can't have a connection with what you need? I think more and more students are in the actual classroom itself for so long. Their lunch breaks and breaks are being made shorter and shorter and shorter, and actually having some kind of downtime. And as we know, technology, the phone, the apps are things which actually are giving people a little bit of that kind of freedom as well. I think it being used responsibly, realizing that people use these devices in different ways. As soon as they get on there, they're not bullying other people necessarily. That isn't to say that doesn't go on. And of course, we should make sure that we're being as safe with everybody as we possibly can. But this sort of idea of a blanket ban, and that actually helping and really being supportive for people, not so sure that's necessarily going to be helping people moving forward. I think what we need to be doing is to helping young people and training them to use these sorts of devices and this sort of support in the best way that helps them. And I think every school is going to be different, every community is going to be different, every situation is going to be different. But do let me know your thoughts. Put it in the comments. Let me know, and I'm more than happy to bring those up and hear your thoughts as well. But I think certainly for me, having a blanket ban isn't necessarily going to be the most supportive thing for people. And also, as we know, all it does is just sort of anything which is banned usually just gets put then under the carpet. Things are going on anyway. I'm sure there'll be phones under the table and all manner of other things as well. So yeah, let me know what you think. So the other thing, of course, which was mentioned this week, was this idea of actually the need for great teachers and really good teachers in our schools. Well, I think we can all agree that that's a really important thing. Especially as the government would obviously make sure that that's something which is top of their priority. The question really is what is good teaching? What is it that makes a good teacher? And I had this discussion recently in a meeting that I was in, and the question really is there: does that mean a good teacher is someone that enables the school to get the best exam results? Is a good teacher someone which is enabling the school to look good, or to make the government look good, or to achieve whatever targets? And I think for those of us who are certainly involved in education on far, but the majority of us who know that good teaching is much more nuanced than that. It's much more about the person. It's much more child centered, and a lot of it can't actually be put and labeled in any kind of any kind of sort of results package, because actually it's the way you speak to someone, it's the way you make them feel, it's the way that your experience is helpful and supportive to a group of children. So it kind of really, for me, it really opened that idea of what, when people say we need great teachers, of course we need great teachers, but what does that actually mean from the people that are actually asking and delivering that? So, yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts. Do, as I said, write them in the comments if you'd like to share that. I'd love to be able to share those with the other people that are watching as well. Do let me know where you're from. And yeah, if there's anything that you're working on, I'm really, really, really would be keen to know if there's anything which you've done, which I don't know about, that we can share, and certainly anything which maybe if you're going to be on a podcast and you're watching soon, you've already recorded it, or maybe you're going to be a guest, do let me know as well. We can share some of those things going through as well. So one of the other things which I wanted to share each time as well was this opportunity of a big win. What is any big wins that you've had over the course of the week? For me, certainly, we've had the opportunity from a technology point of view. We've got full fiber put in our house now, which is incredible, which means that making streaming and all this kind of thing makes it much better, especially this time of the day when the the world is online. So, yeah, the fact that with that went as well as it possibly could, and it seems to be up and running, and we're able to move on for that, means that gives me the option to spend more time doing this, and hopefully with a better production. And we're going to hopefully have some fun with some of these scenes and in some of the ways that we come across now. So, yeah, so that was our big win of the week from a from a personal standpoint, anyway. So let me just take you through again some of the details that we had, and make sure that you know exactly what they were. So just remember, this is the place to go if you're not already following the podcast, or you don't want to go to educationonfire.com and listen to it on the website itself. If you go to educationonfire.com/listen, it takes you to this particular page, and what that then does is it means that you can then click through. You can click on any of those platforms, whichever one that you would prefer, and then you can follow there, and then it means that all the new episodes that come out on a regular basis will automatically be downloaded to your device. And yeah, that's the easiest way to make sure that you don't miss anything which is coming up. And then of course you do have the option to be able to listen and watch on here, because you can see you just literally would need to click and you can hear it straight
If you
from the
need
website.
help building your online presence with podcasts, live streams, or recorded video, see how I could help at educationonfire.com/media. That's educationonfire.com/media. Hello, my name is Mark Taylor, and welcome to the Education on Fire podcast.
So you can see everything is there, everything works in there, and you can even just jump around and click through any parts of those as well.
They weren't part of all that kind of hustle and bustle of large classrooms, and they preferred to stay at home. And parents saw children engage in education like they hadn't before.
So there are. So you can do all of that directly from the website. As I said, you can actually use one of the other platforms as well. So do remember as well, this a great opportunity which is going to be coming, especially in the next few days, with Kevin Whelan from the Wealth Builders there. So you can see the website's obviously there at the bottom. But yeah, this is a way of, he's trying to sort of give back, to be able to support children and support families, to be able to support children in terms of sort of financial understanding, financial legacy, financial literacy, and to give people the best opportunity to realise that, you know, just by going through education and doing what you're told in school doesn't necessarily give you everything you need from that sort of business and financial standpoint. I think it's a great opportunity. It's something we have talked about before on the show, but I think this particular kind of idea of being able to bring people together in a way that's going to be supportive from a community-led idea as well, and the fact that it's not just a question of it has to be like this, it's building that community, as I said, to give you everything that you need. to be supportive going forward. So yes, this was our opportunity to show you how we can have our interviews side by side. As I said, up to 10 people. So if you have a group of people that you'd like to bring on that gives us the opportunity to chat, then please do let me know. And our archives. So yes, I do especially suggest that you go and check this out. EQ. You can get it on the app stores, as you can see there. I just think this new way of being able to support children, support people in this modern age is incredible. Not only to sort of give you information as well, but to be able to interact with it, to share things that you actually need as well. And I do suggest you actually go through, click through, find out how all these things are working, how they got together. And as I said, it's all kind of clinically researched, and have those opportunities to be able to sort of feel like you're getting the best possible support, the best possible help that you're getting in a form, like I said, that really kind of helps everybody going through. So yeah, do let me know. Is there anything else you would like to chat about? Do you have any thoughts on the mobile phone? Do you have any thoughts on what a good teacher is and how that's going to be? Or if you just want to share where you are and what you're working for, I'll give us another couple of minutes to be able to do that. But really appreciate those of you that are watching. If you're watching on the replay, as I mentioned right at the beginning, if you came in a bit late, please do make sure that you subscribe so that you get all the latest details, all the latest information, and of course our YouTube channel as well. I've created this opportunity, obviously, to share what it is that we're doing here at Education on Fire to people if you haven't actually come across it before. But really, it's here to sort of help and support you. If anything you want to share, anything you're working on, anything that you just want to mention, don't have to come on and be interviewed. You can literally just write it in the comments, and I can bring these things up and share them with people as well. So do let me know. Do let me know what your thoughts are about the mobile phone situation, whether that blanket ban's going to work, and also what that means and how hidden they're going to have to be. And also, if you're someone that uses and allows children to have mobile phones within the class, would you actually be saying it's banned in general consumption? And the last thing we want is people sort of on social media during a class. You know, that's not what we're saying. Is what we want. What we want is sort of that idea of making sure that people are responsible, but using the technology as we all do on a day-to-day basis in the most supportive way, and be nuanced enough to give the responsibility, but also have those boundaries as well. So yeah, if no one's got anything they'd like to add or nothing they'd like to say, I will get you say goodbye and let you get back to the rest of your evening. We will be here Tuesdays at exactly the same time, and I look forward to being able to share some more things with you next week. Really appreciate you spending some time here, and chat to you again in a week.